Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. It's Leo speaking. Today we are going to go through the explanation how to use the audio editor, at least the introduction to that, and then we'll talk a little bit more about editing audio regions, but some of the concepts are also applicable to MIDI regions. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, we are inside Logic Pro for iPad on an iPad Pro M1. Click on Create Project and select Tracks. Okay, and let's choose an audio track. Okay, perfect. So this is an audio track, and we have seen previously how to create a MIDI track, and also we have seen how to access a piano roll against one of the MIDI region created. Now, if you click on the pencil here to access the editor for an audio track, like so, you are presented with this view, and you don't have anything in the middle, and that is because you don't have an audio region. So click up here. You could actually think of creating an audio region, but actually you can't. You actually need to import it, or you need to record it, right? So you could actually go and click record. 1, 2, 3. And record that. In that case, you have your region here, which has also appeared on the editor, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. Let's delete that. Click again, and then delete. Or what you can do, you can open the browser, go to sample or loops, for example, and choose to drag and drop a sample. So let me minimize for now the editor. So let's take, for example, this one. This nice code, click, hold, drag, and you can drag it exactly on that audio track, and that will create your audio region. Of course, you can also drag it to create a new track, like so. It says at the top, create a new instrument track with, let go, and then it will ask you what do you want me to use to create a new track, the sample Alchemy, quick sampler, or a drum machine designer, but I will come back with more tutorials for each one of them. So select cancel for that, and let's close the browser, and now we have this audio region, right? And let's click on the editor to open it up, and that is what you see now, the waveform for that particular sample that you imported on the or to the audio track. Now let's go through the interface. So what we have here, standard view, automation view, which again a tutorial is coming for that. You have function button here for trimming. Now, in a MIDI track, you can use your fingers to pinch vertically. Here you can't, but you can do it horizontally, like so. Okay, and the reason you can't is because vertically you have the effectively the measurement of the waveform, the amplitude, okay, which is pretty standard, which you also use as a reference for normalization. So that is why that option is not enabled, although you could actually think that could have been enabled. Anyway, so you can select the track. We are in trim mode, so it works like in the track editor. So you could actually trim it both sides, pretty standard. You can also have it in the loop as same exactly function you have in the track editor, cutting based on where the playhead is. Playhead is positioned there. Click there and then cut, and it will create two regions, which then you go back to trimming mode. And then you can move like so, undo again to remove the cut. And then of course you have the stretching, which I already explained in the track area. It works exactly in the similar way. Now, depending on the function button that you have available, you have again standard option to select multiple regions or to copy region. Again, they work exactly as in the track editor, so please check the tutorial again. Now let's go back in trimming mode. Let's click on the region. And you have option up here for cutting, copy, and delete. Okay, so let's go with edit. Click repeat region, and we'll repeat the region. And you can see up here as well on the track editor. Now let's pitch in horizontally to create more space, and let's move that a little bit further away, like so. Go to the region again. You can use the copy button, for example, to copy like that, right? And you can do multi-select as well, like so. Perfect. Okay, let's select out. I should say also, before I continue with the explanation on the context menu, that you have the three dot here with the optional catch playhead, exactly the same option as we have seen in the previous tutorial, so on the piano roll, so please do refer back to that one. Okay, let's continue. Let's click on this middle one region. Let's click again. Let's go to the edit. Now we can toggle it for muting. So in this case, it's mute. So if I click play, you see this region will not play, right? But as soon as I get, of course, to the next region, which is not muted, it will play. Okay, perfect. Let's continue. Click on the region again, edit, and then you can toggle it again or unmute it, okay? Let's go through other options. So you can quantize it, and I come back and with a specific tutorial on this, the same on copying that region to the live loops view. Let's continue. Select, you have an option to select everything. You can see everything has been selected, of course. You can select all following the same track. So it will select this region plus the next one, which you can also see up here on the track editor. Click again, select. You can deselect everything. In this case, everything is deselected. And deselecting all is quite useful in terms of avoiding mistakes. So if you have somewhere selected, you might just say, okay, I deselect. I want to make sure that nothing has been selected before I do something else. So that is really useful. Next, cycle. You have an option for a cycle. So you need to activate a cycle. So let's activate the cycle. And actually, let's move that one like so. And let's click some, again, on the region. And then let's select, cycle, and then click selection. Okay, so it will move the selection, the cycle to the selection, like so. So if I'm on this one and I go to cycle and I say selection, it will move the cycle to the region that is being selected. What is also nice that you have another option here, which is rounded selection. Let me show you how these work. So I'll do the same again, cycle rounded one, because this region extend this bit, so it goes to the end of this particular bit of measure, and the same it does here. Okay, so and that is quite handy to ensure that you have precise bits and measurement included. Of course, you can go back to the normal selection. I should have said also that in terms of selection, if you click somewhere in the outside the region, you have other options like pasting a playhead or pasting the original position, or select everything that is in the track, or you have also an option to select all inside a cycle on the track, which will be this one. Of course, if the cycle was longer like that and I was to repeat that, it will select this one as well, right? So really, really nice, a lot of different options. Let's continue. So next we have text and folders. We already created a tutorial for that, so refer back to that one. Names and color, you can select a name and it will open here the inspector, and it will be at region level here, and you can change the name. So you can say region 1, press enter. You see it says R1 there. Now, let's go back to name and color. You can say name regions by tracks. Oh, what does it mean? Stay on with the inspector open, go up one level to track, and then change the name of that track. Let's say we call that, for simplicity, track number 1, and press enter. We close that inspector, we go back to the region, and we select name and colors, name region by tracks. And you can see it changed the name from R1 for region 1 to T1, track 1, which is the name of the track. Okay, then what you can also do, you can say color region by track. So for example, if I select that track and I go to the inspector here, and I make sure that I go up a level track, and I change the color of that track to this color here, then I go back to this region and I select name and color region by tracks. It will change what is being selected to the color of the track. Okay, so let me undo this. Let's select only this track, and let me do that only for that track. There you are. Okay, so that is quite useful. Of course, you can select the region itself. You can go back to the inspector and change the color there for that particular region. And you can do that as well if you want to do them individually. Again, let's go back to the other option. What you can also do, you can also trim. You can say trim and to the next region. There you go. It has extended to where the next region is. Let's click undo. Next, we have additional option for trimming. You can do trim to fill within locators. What are the locators? The locators are where you have the cycle on. So let's activate the cycle, okay? And let's say we make it smaller like that, and we just say trim to the end to fill in within locators. Okay, it's already filled in. That is why nothing is changing. But if the locator was a little bit wider, like so, and I was to repeat the trimming to fill within locator, you see this part is extended as well. The next option from a trimming is crop outside the locator. This is quite nice. So let's say that let's go back to the previous view as I've been zooming in, which I should have not done. Okay, let's say that the locator is much smaller, okay, something like that, okay, and the region is wider than the cycle, and therefore the locators are within the region. Select the region, select again, say trim, and say crop outside the locators. And it will crop the region to exactly the cycle, which again can come really, really handy. So really, really useful. Next, we have additional options. So we have also move, I should say, which I skipped. So the first option is move to playhead position. So what that does is, let me scroll. Oops, let me deselect that and let me scroll. To ensure that, here we go. Okay, so let's say that my playhead is somewhere here. I've deselected, click on it and click on move and say move to playhead position, moves the region to where the playhead is. Okay, so which is really nice. And click to go back, and we have other option for moving. We have move to bit, of course. And that it depends on where the region is, okay? So let's select these. We are in trimming mode. Let's say we are something like that, and say move to bit, and it has moved exactly to the beginning of the bit. So again, that is really nice, and it's done that also for the end. So the end edge. Move, you have move selection with first and transit to nearest bit, and that depends on when the transit here occurs on the waveform, but it will move that to the closest bit. In this case, I don't think it will make much of a difference. Actually, it moved here slightly a bit, which is okay. So that is depending on what your waveform contains. Then we also have shuffle to the left. Look, shuffle this to the left, and you can also say shuffle it to the right, and shuffle these to the right. So a lot of different options. You can split by playhead. So move the playhead here. Click on the region again, select split, and say split by playhead. Now you have two regions which have been split, like so. Undo, undo again. Next one involves actually a cycle. So let's establish a cycle there. Click on the region, select again, then split, and you say split by locators. As you can see, it has created the free region now. You have a split here for the beginning of the cycle here, one locator, and then the same here for the end of the cycle for the next locator. So practically you have one region there, as you can see, another one here, and then another one there. Really, really handy. So really, really nice. Again, you can undo as many times as you like, so it's really nice. Okay, let's proceed. So bounce and join. Let me show you what happens for join. And there is a distinction between join per track and just join. And so let me go through each one. But instead of showing them to you here on this view, I'm going to go back to the track editor because it works exactly the same way. So I'm going to close this down. Let's say that, let me remove the locator there and do something like this. And then let's duplicate the particular track. like so. And then let's activate copy and copy this one like that and remove copy. So we have 2 audio tracks now. We have 3 regions on the first one and only 1 region on the second one. Notice also what it has done when I copied this audio region into this one. Look at the names. It's quite nice. It added automatically point 1, which is really nice. Now we are in trim mode. Okay, so let's select this first track here. Okay, and let's select, click and hold, okay, and select these 2 tracks here, okay. Click on one, this first one, click again, go to bounce and join, and select join. It will say non-contiguous audio because you have a gap for regions, require the creation of a new audio file, click create, and it has joined the tune like that. Really nice. Now, next, let's select these 2 tracks, these 2 audio region in different tracks. Let's select the first one, click again, and then say join again. It will say mix down of audio region. Yes, do you want it to cancel mono or stereo? Click stereo, and it will do that here because on this first track, because that's the one which I selected. Click undo. Now, let me show you what happens as I select different track, so different audio region per different track. But this time, actually I select this track here and I click again and I go to join, but instead of say join, because it will join them all, I'll show you actually, like so, it will join all the 3 into one, starting from this one because that was the one selected. This time what I'm going to do instead is say join by track. And it will say click create, and what happens is he had joined only the first 2 per track, and then he looked at the second track and there was nothing else to join, so he left that audio region as it was. So really nice, isn't it? Okay, finally, let me show you how bouncing works. So let's get rid of this track and select delete, and say delete. Let's now deselect everything, select this audio region here, click again. And now let's go through bounce and the bounce option. Let's click on bounce in place and we'll come up with this dialog or the screen, and it will say choose a name for the bounced region. Where do you want it to go? On the same track or the selected track or on the new track? Let's say new track. What do you want to do with the original audio region, which is this one where you actually clicked on it? Do you want to delete it? Do you want to mute it? Do you want to leave it as it is? I would just say mute it. Do you want to include effect plugins, which we haven't covered yet, but you can have that active or not? The same on audio tail, which I will cover in another tutorial. Again, the same on volume and pan automation, which a tutorial is coming for that as well. You can normalize it on, off, and also prevent any overloading, which is really a useful function. When you're finished, you click bounce. Of course, you can restore the defaults here on the screen as well. Click bounce, and it created a new track. It bounced that particular track here. You can see it's higher, has been normalized, higher in amplitude, and the original region has been muted, right? So it will not play. But of course, you can go back to it, select it, and then click, go under edit and toggle mute, and then you have that enable again. Okay, lot covered in this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. And as always, see you next time. Bye.